Zephaniah 1. The word of Hashem that came to Zephaniah, son of Cushi, son of Gedaliah, son of Amariah, son of Hezekiah, in the days of Josiah, son of Ammon, king of Judah. I will utterly destroy everything from upon the face of the land, the word of Hashem. I will destroy man and animal. I will destroy the bird of the sky and the fish of the sea and the stumbling blocks of the wicked. And I will cut off mankind from the face of the land, the word of Hashem. I will stretch out my hand against Judah and against all the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And I will cut off from this place any remnant of the Baal, and the memory of the ministers with the priests, and those who prostrate themselves on the roofs to the heavenly host, and those who bow down and swear to Hashem, and then swear by their king, and those who have turned back from following Hashem, and those who have not sought Hashem nor inquired after him. Be silent before the Lord Hashem Elohim, for the day of Hashem is near. For Hashem has prepared a slaughter. He has invited his guests. And it will happen on the day of Hashem's slaughter that I will deal with the officials and the king's sons and all who wear foreign garments. And I will deal with all those who leap over the threshold on that day, and with those who fill the houses of their masters with injustice and deceit. On that day, the word of Hashem, there will be a sound of an outcry from the fish gate, and a wail from the second gate, and of a great catastrophe from the hills. Wail, O inhabitants of Maktesh, for the entire people of Canaan has been destroyed. All those laden with silver have been cut off. It will be at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles, and I will deal with the men who are settled on their lees, who say in their heart, Hashem will not do good and will not do evil. Their wealth will give way to plunder, and their houses to desolation. They will build houses, but will not dwell in them. They will plant vineyards, but not drink their wine. The great day of Hashem is near. It is near and hastens greatly. The sound of the day of Hashem, when the mighty warrior cries out bitterly. A day of fury is that day, a day of trouble and distress, a day of destruction and desolation, a day of darkness and blackness, a day of cloud and thick cloud, a day of trumpet and battle cries against the fortified cities and against the high towers. I will lay siege against the people, and they will go out like the blind, for they have sinned against Hashem. Their blood will be spilled out like dust, and their flesh like dung. Even their silver, even their gold will not be able to rescue them on the day of Hashem's fury. In the fire of his zeal, the entire land will be consumed. For he will make an end, an abrupt one, of all the inhabitants of the land. Zephaniah 2. Improve yourselves and improve each other, O nation without desire. Before the decree is born, the day you will become like chaff. Before Hashem's burning wrath comes upon you. Before the day of Hashem's anger comes upon you. Seek Hashem. All you humble of the land who have fulfilled his law, seek righteousness. Seek humility. Perhaps you will be concealed on the day of Hashem's anger. For Gaza will be deserted, and Ashkelon will become a wasteland. They will drive out Ashdod's residents at noon, and Ekron will be uprooted. Woe to the inhabitants of the seacoast, the nation of the Cherethites. The word of Hashem is against you, O Canaan, land of the Philistines, and I will destroy you without an inhabitant. The seacoast will be an abode for shepherds and sheepfolds. It will be a portion for the remnant of the house of Judah, upon which they will graze. In the houses of Ashkelon, they will lie down in the evening. For Hashem, their God, will remember them and will return their captivity. I have heard the taunt of Moab and the jeers of the children of Ammon, who taunted my people and expanded their territory along their border. Therefore, as I live, the word of Hashem, master of legions, God of Israel, I swear that Moab will be like Sodom and the children of Ammon like Gomorrah, a rustling thorn bush, a salt mine, a desolate wasteland forever. The remnant of my people will loot them, and the remainder of my nation will inherit them. This they shall have in place of their haughtiness. For they taunted and boasted over the people of Hashem, master of legions. Hashem will be fearsome unto them, for he will enfeeble all the powers of the earth, and they will prostrate themselves to him. Each man from his place, all the islands of the nations. You too, Cushites, you are slain by my sword. He will stretch out his hand toward the north, and he will destroy Assyria. He will make Nineveh a wasteland, arid as the desert. Herds will lie down in its midst, every nation's beasts. Both owls and bitterns will lodge in its capitals. Their voice will sing out in the windows. Desolation will be in its doorway, for the cedar work will be removed. This is the exultant city that dwelt in security, that said in its heart, only I, and besides me, nothing. How did it become desolate, a resting place for the beast? Every one who passes by it will whistle and wave his hand. Zephaniah 3. Woe to the filthy and polluted one, the city of oppression. It did not listen to the voice of the prophets. It did not accept chastisement. It did not trust Hashem. It did not draw near to its God. Its princes in its midst are roaring lions. Its judges are wolves of the evening. They do not leave a bone for the morning. Its prophets are impetuous, men of rebellion. Its priests have desecrated the sacred. They have robbed the Torah. Hashem, the righteous one, is within it. He commits no corruption. Morning after morning, he brings his judgment to light. It does not fail. But the corrupt one knows no shame. I have eliminated nations. Their towers have become desolate. I have destroyed their streets without passerby. Their cities have become ruins, without people, so there is no inhabitant. I said, just fear me, accept chastisement, so that her abode would not be terminated, despite all that I have ordained upon her. But instead, they arose early and corrupted all their deeds. Therefore, wait for me, the word of Hashem, for the day when I will arise to plunder them. For my judgment will be to assemble nations, to gather kingdoms, to pour my fury upon them, all my burning wrath. For with the fire of my jealousy, the entire earth will be consumed. For then I will change the nations to speak a pure language, so that they will all proclaim the name of Hashem, to worship him with a united resolve. From the other side of the rivers of Cush, my supplicants, groups of my scattered ones, will bring my tribute. On that day, you will not be ashamed of all your deeds by which you have wantonly sinned against me. For then I will remove from your midst those who exult in your arrogance, and you will no longer continue to be haughty on my holy mountain. And I will leave in your midst a people humble and low in spirit, and they will take shelter in the name of Hashem. The remnant of Israel will not commit corruption. They will not speak falsehood, and a deceitful tongue will not be found in their mouth. For they will graze and lie down with none to make them afraid. Sing, O daughter of Zion. Sound the trumpet, O Israel. Be glad and exult with all your heart, O daughter of Jerusalem. Hashem has removed your judgments. He has cleared away your enemy. The King of Israel, Hashem, is in your midst. You will never again fear evil. On that day it will be said to Jerusalem, have no fear, O Zion, do not despair. Hashem, your God, is in your midst, the mighty one who will save. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will be silent with his love. He will be joyful over you with glad song. I have gathered together those who have mourned for the appointed time. They came from you, who had carried a burden of shame for it. Behold, at that time I will crush all those who afflict you. I will save the cripple and gather the cast off, and I will make them for praise and a good name throughout the land of their shame. At that time I will bring you in, and at that time I will gather you in. For I will make you into a good name, and praise among all the peoples of the earth, when I return your captives before your eyes, said Hashem. Okay, welcome back. That was the book of the prophecy of Zephaniah. There will be destruction, and this destruction will come for evil. Zephaniah opens by speaking to Israel and Judah, then speaking to all of the neighbors, and then he comes back and finishes with the final prophecy against Judah. The message is similar in its tone. Brace yourself. The destruction is going to be fantastic. However, there is a redemption involved, and it includes the acknowledgement and recognition that God is singular and over everything, and people will seek out understanding. Now, there is something to be said about the consistency of all of these messages. Hosea and Jonah have a bit of a different style, but they all speak to a retribution that is coming and the value and benefit of not being evil. That is it for this book. It was a short one, but it was a good one. Only a couple left. Thank you for watching. The NQE is out.